My boyfriend pranked me in the most evil way, so I broke his ribs.
You know, that doesn't sound like a very good retaliation on a prank.
It is.
Really?
If the prank is evil. This just happened 2 nights ago, so I'm still reeling emotionally. I know this is long, but there's some important background context, and I am in desperate need of answers.
We got
you. We got nothing but answers. Literally, we are basically licensed therapists. I am not a therapist, neither is John. This is not professional advice. Almost 6 years ago, I, 29 male, lost my partner suddenly in an accident while he was overseas on a work trip. When I lost him, I cannot describe the pain and the anguish and the emotional hellscape I found myself in. We planned a life together, and in a fraction of a second, it was all gone. In the aftermath, I completely collapsed as a human. I left my career in healthcare. I couldn't leave my apartment for 3 months. I lost 60 pounds and was already really skinny, and I just shut down. In short, I was a mess in every single way. 60 pounds, losing 60 pounds.
That is...
If I lost 60 pounds, dude, I would be gone. With the support of some very persistent friends, community resources, and an amazing therapist, I started to process and move forward. Through intense therapy, temporary psychiatric help, and submitting my stories to Reddit, I've been able to heal over... I'm just kidding, that last one wasn't included. I've been able to... Was that too f***ed up? I've been able to heal over the years, though grieving isn't a linear process.
It's true.
It's true. Fast forward to around 2.5 years ago, when I met my current boyfriend, 29 male. It's hard to describe getting into a relationship after losing a soulmate, but please know that he wasn't a rebound and isn't second place or anything like that. I do love him with all my heart, even though I'll always love my late partner. My boyfriend has a foundation of similar values, ideal relationship dynamics, communication styles to my late partner, but has a completely different personality, look, lifestyle, appearance, etc. I love him for all of his differences as much as his similarities. Sounds like a great,
That's sweet. Yeah.
Solid place to go.
I'm glad OP was able to find someone after everything happened to them.
My therapist and I knew that it was important for me to not date someone who I would expect to be a stand-in for my late partner. Her and I have checked in constantly through the major stages of the relationship to ensure that I'm sticking to that. Honestly, I pictured what the rest of my life would look like with him in it, and he said the same.
Ooh.
He was also the most understanding boyfriend when I first told him about my late partner's passing and my grieving journey. If there was a textbook way to handle the situation, he couldn't have written the whole thing. I truly could not have asked for a better boyfriend. That was until yesterday.
Oh, not until yesterday. Stay on today.
Until yesterday.
Stay on today.
My boyfriend likes to pull some pranks on me.
No.
And he's even filmed some of them to upload online.
Oh.
We got a TikTok prankster on our hands.
We got another
boys
TikToker.
and girls. We got people going up to old men in the park and being a squirrel and going... It's not a constant thing or frequent enough for me to always be on my toes. And I've always said that I'm prone to weird things happening to me. So I'm never the wiser when I'm being pranked. For the sake of anonymity, I won't go into details on the previous pranks he's pulled because a few have gotten quite a large number of views. Why? I want to see the videos. But they're mostly harmless, annoying, etc. As much as I hate being pranked in the moment, he's never gone too far. He's always checked in with me. He gets my permission to post them and all that. I guess I should say that he had never gone too far until yesterday. And that's the thing about the TikTok pranksters. It's like, you got to always one up your last prank.
Bro, how am I supposed to get more views?
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
If I'm not kidnapping my whole family and thinking they're going to die, is anyone going to watch, bro? He texted me in the morning to confirm dinner plans we had that evening. And I replied asking if he needed me to pick up anything on my way home from work. At least twice a month, he cooks us an elaborate dinner. Low-key sounds like a great boyfriend.
Yeah, he sounds amazing other than this prankster stuff.
I'm talking coordinated wine pairings, 5 courses, tasting menus, things like that. Like I said, he's a perfect boyfriend. I plan to FaceTime him at lunch like I always do, so no big deal. Well, he didn't answer me at lunch. No big deal, he's probably busy. I sent him a couple more texts after lunch, just random stuff, but he never responded. And when I finished work, my phone showed he never even read them. I got a little anxious, admittedly, but pushed it aside. I don't need to hear from him constantly. But a sudden break in our routine felt weird because he always tells me in advance when something is going on or if he's busy. Always. Literally sounds like the perfect boyfriend.
Yeah, right. I'm like, dude, that seems damn near impossible.
Yeah,
like sometimes
dude.
stuff comes up.
He also always forgets something for the dinners he makes us and asks me to grab something on the way home. Always. I feel like I know where this is going. If you know where this is going, put I see you in the comments. Anyway, I drive to his apartment from work and let myself in with the key he gave me. I expected to hear music, smell some dinner or something, but it was completely silent. I put myself down on the hall bench and walked towards the kitchen. I saw grocery bags at the kitchen's entrance, which I thought was weird. As soon as I entered the kitchen, I saw a broken wine glass at the far end of his kitchen island and a few drops of what I thought was red wine until I saw his feet sticking out.
What?
I sprinted around the island and he was laying on his side.
Stop.
Facing away
Stop.
from me. There was blood everywhere. On the edge of the island, splatters on the wall, and a large pool of blood around his head.
Oh my God. What? Keep going.
Okay, wait. I'm going to
Please.
stop right here really quick. Really
Please.
quick. I just want to get a gut check from everyone. Cool Halloween prank or f***ed up trauma-inducing
Bro.
staging?
Why? Why?
Dude, because it's funny, bro. I haven't made the sounds that came out of me since I got the call that my late partner passed. My heart was racing so bad that my chest and head hurt. Though I felt like I was in full-blown panic mode, I physically went into autopilot. I work in healthcare again, so I'm glad that my instinct kicked in. He was on his side, so I flipped him on his back. From what I gathered, trying to take a medical visual inventory of his injuries, it looked like he was just bleeding from his head. He didn't respond to my voice or a quick sternal rub. He wasn't moving at all, and when I put my ear down to his mouth, I wasn't hearing or feeling breathing. He had blood all over his face, so I couldn't tell if his lips were blue or anything like that. I do remember checking for a pulse, and I truthfully didn't feel one, though in hindsight, I can't be sure if I was mentally stable enough to discern one either way. So I tilted my head back and put my hands over his chest to start CPR while screaming at my phone for Siri to call 911. I only got 2 hard and fast compressions in when he miraculously came back from the dead, screaming bloody murder. After that, I'm not going to lie, I blacked out a bit. I remember getting lightheaded, my boyfriend shaking me, him apologizing. I remember him calling off 911, and I remember leaving his apartment covered in what I had obviously figured out was fake blood. I did get a call from 911/police to confirm basically that my boyfriend had played a prank on me and no one needed help. Otherwise, I felt completely catatonic in a way. I disassociated. The other bad
don't
thing is
blame
like
her.
he let it go so long.
So long.
So long.
And like, it sounds like she's a medical professional, but probably in her haze and everything, she wasn't able to like get his like vitals and like the
Yeah.
pulse and everything. Oh my God. Like,
I feel like you stop the prank when your girlfriend starts crying.
yeah, like
Right?
it was a stupid idea to begin with, but at a bare
Yeah.
minimum, you hear her and you're like, no, I have to stop, right? Hey, yeah, you have to.
You have to. Needless to say, since last night, I've been a complete mess. The entire thing keeps playing in my head, and while the logical part of my brain knows that he pranked me and that he's alive, my body hasn't figured it out yet. Worse, this completely brought up everything surrounding my late partner, and I feel like I have to start my grieving process for him all over again. The anger I feel isn't a revenge type of anger, but an exhausted type of anger. The rage is so strong and intense that it's taken every ounce of my energy to act on any of it. I guess that's a good thing. My boyfriend has tried calling me over 40 times. He sent me too many texts to count. He even came over to try to talk to me the same night, but luckily, even though he has a key, I have a deadbolt chain, so he won't be able to get in. Basically, he shouted an apology through the crack and begged me to talk to him. My neighbors shooed him off after a while. My friends have also messaged me to ask if I was safe, saying he contacted them and told them everything. I've only texted one of my friends back. I have a therapy appointment tomorrow, but I just need to crowdsource thoughts right now.
Worst prank in OKOP history?
Worst prank, dude.
By a long shot.
There's more. So far, is this something you think can be come back from?
I just like the thought and the preparation and it, like even just the idea. I mean, like you said, there would be something to say if there was the like instant regret, and I guess people make mistakes or whatever. But I'm just like, how could you possibly think of this whole thing?
Massive oversight for sure.
God,
I don't think it was done maliciously though.
Not done maliciously, but
it
like
was stupid for sure.
Yeah.
But was it malicious? Like, does it show a character flaw? Well, maybe ignorance.
I think I think also just like oftentimes like if the repercussion is so extreme, then like even if it's not malicious or something like that, it's just like
she may even logically want to forgive him.
Right.
But emotionally, like what it sounds like, she's so shaken up that like this might, like she might not be able to get back into the relationship. My boyfriend's sister called me this morning in tears, apologizing on her brother's behalf and told me how sorry he is. She said that if he would have told her about the prank before, she would have chewed him out for even thinking of the idea. Their parents were horrified as well and have said that they are here to support me in whatever way I need. His sister told me that he had come over to her house after I didn't let him into my place, and he was having a major anxiety attack with chest pain, racing heartbeat, and trouble breathing. It was so bad that she took him to the ER, where they learned that I had fractured a couple of ribs while attempting to give him what I thought was life-saving CPR, and in the process had also punctured a lung. Damn. There are so many emotions going through my head right now. I am so angry at the world for yet again ripping away a man I love from me, because even though he's alive, I don't think I'll ever be able to get over this. At the same time, I still love and care for him. It's like all I want to do is rush to the hospital to be by his side, while at the same time feel like the sight of him would make me sick. He disgusts me in every way, yet the thought of being without him breaks me in ways I can't explain. What do I do? Is there any possible way for me to heal from this? Do I even consider trying to fix things with him? Do I even want to make this work? Was the entire relationship a facade that he built up to sell a prank that is so personal and cruel and disgusting? I don't think that one's true. Why would he do something that he knew would destroy me so thoroughly? What did I do to him that made him think that I deserve this? How do I start my grieving process over while also processing this breakup? How can I ever trust anyone ever again? I mean, seriously, what the fuck do I do? I mean, how would you answer some of those questions, John? I mean, that's and I would love to know what everyone else thinks. Like, How would you answer some of those questions that she asked in the end? Yeah,
I mean, they're hard to answer. I'm curious what all of y'all are going to say in the comments. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's like, can she recover from this? Like, that's probably, I would imagine it's only a matter of like trying and going through that process and seeing what happens.
I imagine maybe.
Yeah, maybe
it is possible, but you have to be able to, you have to want it. And if you don't want it, that's fine too. There's a comment actually from someone on the post. Hopeful Confusion 599 says, "This is cruel on his part, and I don't think I'd ever be able to move past something like this. I honestly wonder what his motive was. Was it just a prank, or does he feel he doesn't live up to your late partner and needed reassurance? I feel it's common sense to not trick people into thinking you're dead." I don't know if I think that.
It's not common sense to trick people.
No. Like I
was like, wait, hold on.
Well, I've done a play dead prank before with my parents.
Like what is
when I was like 10.
There you go. You know what I mean? Like, this man is a grown ass adult.
And then Bon Banu 14 said, "That is wildly fucked up. I don't know if I could ever forgive that myself. However, if you choose to make it work, it's straight up couples counseling for you." Totally agree. He needs to understand that he has re-traumatized you, true, broken your trust in a substantial way, and acted wildly inappropriately. I would also make it crystal clear your boundaries when it comes to pranks. Probably, if it was me, I'd tell him to f off with his pranks entirely as they become a source of trauma. And then also some updated context from OP responding to that comment. I definitely have a lot of things to think about. I did see to check if he uploaded a video of it, and I see that he deleted the channel. I didn't ask him to do it or anything, but even if he did it on his own, I still don't know if I'd ever truly be able to know if he did it to show remorse and commit to changing, or if it's all part of another act that he has planned down the line. Yeah, I don't think that's true. But what this shows is she's lost complete faith.
God, like so far beyond.
It's
my God, dude.
I think like it just shows like an immaturity too. Like I would never, I don't know if I would ever date a girl that pranked me. I just also don't like pranks.
Yeah.
I would like a little prank or two. But I would love to know what you guys think. What do you think of our takes? Do you think this guy needs therapy or a lesson in how to deal with people? Put your answers in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, I think we got another juicy story coming up, right?
We do.
Let's get into it.
I abandoned my wife at the airport and told her it's her fault.
Wait, what's her fault?
She got abandoned. My wife, female 23, and I, male 27, have a daughter, female 21, who goes to college out of state. We'll call my wife Meg and my daughter Jess. Jess is in her junior year of college, and over the summer, she was employed by her university and was able to stay in the dorms. After summer, she was moving out of the dorms and into her own apartment off campus. Meg and I live in the PNW.
Prisoner of war.
Meg and I live in the Pacific Northwest, not prisoner of war. Jess goes to school on the East Coast. We usually go to visit Jess a couple times throughout the semester, typically parents' weekend and move out day, and she also comes home during the holidays. Let me start by saying that traveling with my wife is not a great experience.
Divorce.
Yeah. Throw in the towel, buddy.
Low key, traveling with a partner is a great test of whether your relationship can last.
It's a big one.
If you fight while you travel, just break up.
You know what's so crazy?
What?
The next part of the story, they got divorced. Just kidding. Gotcha. But we'll see. I am very type A. I like to have everything organized and make sure that we get where we need to be early, especially when traveling. Now, my wife is the opposite. Very go with the flow, and we will get there when we get there.
Sounds rad, bro.
Famous last words to a TSA agent. I do my best to meet in the middle, but not when traveling by plane. Last year, during Parents' Weekend, Meg and I were flying out to see Jess. Our flight was at 10 a.m. Our airport isn't huge, but it's also not a tiny airport either. I told my wife that we needed to be at the airport 90 minutes early, and we live about 30 minutes from the airports.
That's a respectable amount early.
I think it's solid, especially like not going international or anything.
Yeah.
This being said, I wanted to leave at the very latest by 8, since we also needed to park and walk a little bit. I, of course, am up at 6 to make sure everything was ready and accounted for. My wife, she doesn't like to get up early. It took me attempting to wake her up 5 times before she eventually got up at 7:40.
5 times? Bro.
An hour and 40
dump water on her, bro. Ice bucket challenge that girl.
And she wanted to make coffee, shower, and eat a bowl of cereal. Let's just say that we didn't leave the house until 9. It ended up being busier at the airport than normal, likely due to the many colleges having parents' weekends. And it took so long to get through security.
No.
We missed our flight.
Yikes, dude.
Rightly so, the airline refused to refund our ticket. We were able to get new tickets, but not until the next day, and we missed Friday afternoon and Saturday morning with our daughter. On the parents' weekend.
Big yickety yikes,
Yeah,
dog.
that's like 70% of the weekend right there.
I bet the wife feels terrible.
Fast forward to now. We were flying down for a long weekend to help her move. We take one flight from our town to a bigger town nearby and then fly from there to our daughter's college town. Again, it was a long morning of me pushing my wife, getting her to move along. Due to the last airport mishap, I wanted to make sure I told her we needed to leave extra early as to not miss this flight again. And then we got there on time with a bit of time to spare. And my wife was annoyed. Kept going on about how now we just need to sit and wait for 45 minutes for them to start boarding.
Better than missing your child's college experience, right?
No, Sam. How I could never imagine
Waiting 45 minutes anywhere.
sitting and watching Netflix for 45 minutes in a filthy airport.
Disgusting.
I could never. My daughter can wait.
My daughter will wait.
We took our first flight and landed in the connecting city at a much larger airport. We had only about 1 hour layover. We got off the plane at 9:15 and our next plane started boarding at 9:40. We had to take multiple rails to get from where we landed to our terminal. And we got to our terminal and had about 15 minutes until our plane was set to board. My wife tells me that she wants to get some coffee.
15 minutes, girl.
She wants a little cup of Joe.
I
She's
swear,
trying
if
to
she
stay
makes
up.
them miss another flight, I would be so mad.
There was a little market next to our terminal that sold hot coffee and food. I asked if she wanted me to grab it for her. No, I want Starbucks, she said. Well, Starbucks was a rail ride away and a little bit of a walk. I told her we couldn't do that. We don't have enough time.
I don't think she wants to see her daughter, dude.
Oh,
I think
hates the daughter.
I think it's the daughter. I think there's something going on beneath the surface. I think she's
There might be something to your theory there. She stated that we did have enough time, and if I wouldn't go with her, she would go by herself. I tried to discourage her, but she was determined. She walked away at a brisk pace for her and said that she would be back in time. Yeah, for her. Damn, OP throwing shade too.
Well, he's probably pissed that she missed 2 flights in a row.
Yo. Oh my God. 15 minutes comes and goes.
Oh God.
And she was nowhere to be seen. They started calling the boarding groups. I called my wife, hoping that she was nearby, but she didn't answer. They called a few groups and then called ours. In a panic, I called my wife again, 3 times. Finally, on the last call, she answered and said that she was on her way. It was a long line and she had to wait a bit.
What a asshole. Like, but what's really happening here is she's putting her fucking Starbucks coffee over her daughter's first week of school, right? Parents,
It's move out.
Move out. Oh, it's move
day.
out.
So they're
it's
coming
last week
to
of
her
school.
to move her out and like help her move all of her stuff.
Dude, come on.
I waited by the gate, but the attendant said they would need to shut the gate in 2 minutes. I waited and waited, but she didn't show up.
Get on the plane, bro. Get on the plane.
The attendant asked if I wanted to board. Otherwise, she was going to close the gate. I tried to plead with her to wait a couple of minutes, but she insisted that she couldn't. So I boarded the plane. Ba-ba-da-ba. Hey, there you go, OP. All right. A few minutes later, my wife calls me saying that the attendant won't let her on. They had already removed the boarding ramp, and at that point, she told me I needed to tell them to let me off the plane to be with her, and I said no.
She's a grown woman, bro.
I'm sorry.
She's a grown woman. She can take care of herself.
Also, like, this isn't her first. They've literally been to an airport once before. They're not stopping no plane for you.
No.
Remove the boarding ramp?
Yeah.
Fat
Can you please,
chance.
put this back.
It is not fair to do this again to Jess. I said, I told you we didn't have time, but you decided to go anyways. I told her to go purchase a new ticket for the next flight, and I would see her when she arrives. She got to Jess's school and seemed unbothered by the whole situation. Didn't even really talk about it. I thought maybe she realized it was her fault and just wanted to drop it. Boy, was I wrong. We are now home, and she hasn't talked to me since the trip over a week ago.
Wow.
Insisting that I am the a-hole. So, am I the a-hole? And there is an update. But
I think no way. I think he would be the a-hole if it hadn't just happened. If it hadn't just happened,
distinctor.
Then like I think maybe a little bit of an a-hole.
I think here's what it is, right? They had the discussion about it. They're like, he's like, hey, we already missed one flight.
Yeah.
So I want to do everything so that way we don't. I feel like the expectation was so clearly set coming into the second flight. And that's why
I think
fine
she's
to
definitely an a-hole because of that, for sure. I don't think he's the a-hole for prioritizing his daughter. But I want to posit you another question.
Ooh, posit.
All right. So All right, I want to know what everyone would do in this situation. So situation 1.
Yes.
You and your significant other are going to visit your family for a birthday.
Yep.
And you're traveling differently, traveling in separate Ubers. Your significant other gets stuck in traffic, is going to miss the flight. Do you board the plane to celebrate? And you're going to miss the birthday if you don't.
Miss the birthday?
Yeah.
Missing the birthday, I think I would I would call her and be like, "Hey, I think I should board the flights, just so that way one of us can be there on time." And I would probably do that.
Situation 2, you are going to a birthday.
Yep.
And your significant other wants to go get coffee.
Yep.
And you say, "Hey, you're not going to have enough time." And then you're waiting and you don't hear from her. You try to call her and tell her. She doesn't pick up. The boarding is about to close. Do you get on the plane?
I'm going to miss the birthday.
You're going to miss the birthday because you can't get in contact. So situation 3, you get through.
Right.
You get through and she says, "Don't get on that plane." Do you get on the plane?
That's almost an even more get on the plane, because then at least you can explain
and
yourself.
You won't miss the birthday.
And I won't miss the birthday?
Yeah.
I'd probably stay behind, but
if you won't miss the birthday.
If I won't miss the birthday, I would stay behind, but definitely be like, we should not, do things like
I want to know what everyone would do in those situations 1, 2, and 3.
Update. As far as how she acts in other situations, she generally doesn't have any issues. She's never one to be late to work or anything like that. Just seems like travel is her poor area. I never noticed things like this until we started traveling often to see our daughter. This is why I never considered something like ADD or ADHD. She really has no other signs of this. I saw posts implying that my wife might have an addiction of some sort. I'm not sure how that would line up, but I don't see that being a possibility. I didn't think the following information was important, but my daughter made a comment and so did a friend that I discussed this with, so I thought maybe I would mention it here. Jess is not Meg's daughter. I was married once before and
she doesn't want to see the daughter.
Whoa.
I fucking called it.
You called it. That's impressive. That's very impressive, dude. I'm called it, bro. I'm legit impressed.
Let's go, dude. Read 1,000 Reddit stories. I'm psychic.
He knows. I was married once before, and my wife unfortunately passed away due to complications during Jess's birth. My daughter made a comment that Meg doesn't want to come see/help her, and that is why she is running late. But I have offered to go alone, and Meg was very against that idea, so I wouldn't think that that's the case.
Probably because she just doesn't want to be without you. She doesn't she's probably jealous. She doesn't want to share you.
So many things. A reminder of the past wife. I'm sure there could be many things like that. My wife finally started talking to me again. When she did, I told her that I wanted to have a conversation about the situation, but I wanted to give it a couple of days for emotions to settle down. Some of the comments here gave me a great idea, and I wanted to see what she thought about it. For all future trips, I will have my tickets, and she will have hers. I typically drive to the airport and leave my car in one of the pay lots, so I would drive myself and she could Uber. She will have all the freedom she wants to do what she wants, but it is up to her to arrive on time and to board the plane, which there's maybe a deeper issue, but if it really is a timing thing, that's a smart idea. I'm guessing she would have kind of hid her disdain for this long from
but
OP.
The daughter knows. The daughter feels it. The daughter feels it.
Yeah. I let her know that it was starting to feel like I needed to keep track of both of us. I phrased it in a way to make it sound like I didn't want to be controlling over her and let her manage her own time. She wasn't happy about this, but she reluctantly agreed. Now to get to the bigger issue that I didn't realize we had until reading the comments of this post. Call me oblivious, but I never thought there was any issue between Meg and Jess. After talking to my wife, she wouldn't admit to any issues and stated that she would never intentionally delay a flight so that we couldn't see our daughter, and acted offended that I would ask such a thing. If that was her actual purpose, I don't think I would be able to prove it, but it will be at the forefront of my mind in the future. After talking to Meg and Jess, we decided on the following. Meg and I will be visiting Jess on Parents' Weekend. but I will not be attending Father's Weekend from now on, and I will be attending by myself to get some alone time with Jess. Jess seemed very excited, and surprisingly, Meg didn't seem to have an issue with it this time.
Okay. Well, I guess everything ended kind of happily ever after.
I don't know. I sensed some more snakes in the bushes.
Yeah. The big tick off is what the daughter said.
Yeah.
That's the big tick off, because it's like the person who is the subject of someone's disdain usually feels it most, because that's like they're picking up on all the small slights. Do you think that the wife is doing it because she doesn't like the daughter? Let us know why. Put your answers in the comments. And I think we're going to see you very soon. We miss you. We love you. And we want to squeeze your little cheeks and give you goodnight kisses. Aww. Especially if you're listening to this, drifting off to sleep.
That's right.
Here, we'll sing you a song. Rock-a-bye, baby, in the treetops. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock.
What's the next words?
I remember. Go to sleep.
Oh,
Good night.
good night, everyone.